Hey guys, this is John Hang, and this is a litter box. In today's video, I'm going to be making a dolly for it so I don't have to pick it up and drag it to the bathroom anymore. I can just push it over. If you've been following the channel, you'll know that I recently just did the flooring in my mudroom, and so now I can actually roll it to the bathroom right over there. There's no more transition between the door, so there's nothing that gets in the way of rolling it over there. We also use flushable litter, so we don't use any plastic bags when throwing away waste. We just dump it straight into the toilet. So rolling it over to the bathroom actually makes a lot more sense than carrying it, because this thing is a little bit big and it's a little bit awkward to carry, especially when it's full of litter. It can weigh up to 25 pounds. All right, so now that you kind of understand the situation of the litter, let's get started to building. So what I bought from Amazon are these tiny little casters. They're about 1 inch in diameter, and so that's what I'm going to be using as the wheels to roll this dolly around. All right, and if you guys are new to the channel, here's my mudroom, and I also have some plans for what I want to do with this space, and that includes the cat litter dolly, which I will show a plan of right here. It'll take a little bit of time because I'm still getting used to working on cabinetry, but it will be a work in progress, and you guys will be here to follow me along. All right, so I'm getting my measurements for the litter box, and from the wall to about here is 30 inches. So that's obviously bigger than the litter box, but actually on the back of the dolly, I want to have like a little slot to put this litter scooper thingy, as well as this dustpan, and that'll be in the back, so when you pull the dolly out and bring it to the bathroom, you'll have your scoopers there with you. All right, so from a previous project, I have some leftover plywood. This is 3/4 inch maple plywood that I'll be using for the dolly today. All right, so the dolly, or the tray, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be comprised of a flat bottom and then 3 rails along the side. I'm going to grab my large 4-foot long T-square. All right, so I now got the outline of my bottom tray measured out. This is 20 inches and that's 30 inches. I'm going to use a straight edge to cut it, and I'm going to be using my circular saw over there to make that cut. I'm going to be using these spring clamps. They're pretty cheap. I've got my straight edge as well as my spring clamp. So obviously you want to cut this line right here, but the thing is with the circular saw, it's got about a 3.5, 3 3/4 space on the right. So you want to make sure that this straight edge is blocked off like there. You can see that my 0 is right on the line now. And so obviously I only have 1 clamp in so far, and there's a possibility that this is out of square, as in like it's not on the same line. I'm going to take the same T-square ruler and just place it up until it's straight on this ledge. And you can see that it's a little bit of space over there. It's almost there. So I'm going to move it like that. And now you guys can see that there's full coverage with that ruler. So now I know that it's square. I'm going to take this out and then put in my other clamp. All right, so we've cut that side. Now all we need to do is cut the upper side. All right, so now I've got the bottom tray cut out. What I'm gonna do next is just move these 1 inch over, and I'll get the side rails because they're the same length as the bottom tray. All right, so here's what it looks like so far. So I've got this 20 inches wide, 30 inches deep, and then I've got these side rails that are 1 inch high. There's plenty of space for you to move this back and forth. And I also have this space in the back, which I will show you what I'm planning to do right now. So when I made that first cut, I cut an entire side of the board off when I definitely didn't need to, so I had a bunch of scrap wood. So I'm actually gonna use it to hold, to create the things that will hold the pooper scooper. And this should be a good enough height to do that. And I'll be able to get 2 pieces out. One will go here and one will go there. And then I'll put a middle divider for the dustpan also. All right, so I've gone ahead and done those cuts off screen. They're pretty easy to make. You can figure out the measurements yourself depending on your pooper scooper. So pretty much I've got 2 of these pieces on the side and 3 of the same bracing the middle. So imagine this is the scooper. It would just go right in here and rest there. And so now all I've got to do really is just clean up this tear out with some sandpaper and then screw everything together. All right, so I've got some wood glue, so I'm just gonna put some glue here and there. Now I've got these right angle clamps. They just snap on like this. Although this looks too small to actually fit all of them on here. I'll use some additional clamps just to keep it in place for now. All right, so and here's the box for now. So what I'm also going to do is use my nail gun with a few brads just to keep it in place. I'm gonna slide in this middle divider now too. All right, so now I've got my little thing in the back that goes for the pooper scooper behind the box. What I'm gonna do next is get the rails on and then pretty much finish this thing up. All right, so I've got the side rails nailed together. I've got this nailed together, but I haven't secured this yet. So I think what I'm gonna do is just drill in from the bottom and then drill in some pilot holes here and then put in screws. All right, so a simple way to figure out where to drill is actually, so I placed it on here and then took this pencil and drew the outline of the inner boxes. And so now what I'm gonna do is, you can see here, I know where the middle divider is, I know where the outside dividers are. So all I'm gonna do is just find the center of each one and then copy that to here. So, you know, like somewhere like that, and somewhere like this. And then I think 3 screws for this is more than enough, maybe just enough, because this isn't really gonna see that much movement. I'm also gonna be gluing it, so it'll be strong enough. All right, so change of plan actually. So I did draw out the outlines for the divider, and so I drilled into where those dividers are, and I flipped over the whole thing, so now I actually know where I'm drilling. And so this actual box has not been drilled yet, but I'm going to drill that now. All right, so now what I can do is flip everything back over. And so I can see now that this divider has the 3 drill holes. And so now what I'm gonna do is just get my wood glue and then glue the bottom of this. And now what I'm gonna do next is just flip it back over. I'm gonna get my clamps, just making sure that everything's square. So I'm gonna be using these deck screws with sort of like a concealed head or a small head. Release the clamps, and this is pretty much it. All right, so everything's fully assembled, glued, screwed together, and nailed. All that we need to do now is just bring the drill inside, bring this inside, and attach the wheels. All right, guys, we're almost done. So here is the anatomy of the caster. So 4 screws, the caster with 4 holes, and then the front ones that I'll have also have a break. So I'm just going to put it in the corner here and then mark the holes and then drill. All right, so a little tip on drill bits. So here is the size of the actual screw. So you wanna find a drill bit that's almost the same size, just slightly smaller, and that will give you the best grip for the screw without tearing out or destroying the hole. I've also added this blue tape that is just about the depth of the screw, and that'll keep me from drilling accidentally all the way into the other side. All right, so holes drilled in each corner for each of the wheels. I think I might have actually drilled through all the way accidentally. So again, this tape, make sure it doesn't go all the way through the depth of your thing, but still deep enough for the screw to go through. So now I'm just gonna screw everything in. All right, so it is done, screwed together. All right, here it is on the ground. It actually rolls really nicely. So I'm gonna put the litter on there. Yeah, check that out. All right, so last thing I wanna check is to make sure that this fits in there. We do actually have something like this so that it can line it. So it more or less fits. I can just push this down there. So, there. And then Just slide this one in there. And now we've got a dolly for the cat litter.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna close your eyes.
Hold on.
You just looked at it. Okay, what do you think?
Is it the thing that slides out?
Yeah, grab the handle and pull it out. No, it's gonna roll all the way to the bathroom.
What? What?
You don't have to pick it up.
Yeah, but when you make that fixture,
This will slide out.
I was imagining it sliding out, and then me picking it up and walking.
Okay, she doesn't like it. She hates it.
No, I like it.
She wants more. Alright, so it's now the next day, so let's just do a quick usability test. You can see from my fiance, she was a little bit underwhelmed, and honestly, I am a little bit underwhelmed also. Alright, let me just show you guys why I'm a little bit underwhelmed by this project. So this is the half bathroom that we dumped the litter into, and it's a little tight, so the funny thing is that when you bring it into this room, it always hits something. So again, going into the room, hit the door, and now I'm going to try to rotate it. See how tight that was? It's a very tight fit, so it's a little big for this room. All right, so I figured out the main issue, and it's actually that this door to this half bathroom is really small. It's maybe got 1 inch on either side, and that's why it's hitting every wall. If I roll it over to the door going to the mudroom, the door going to the mudroom is a normal size. And so now I've got maybe like 4 inches on each side, which is a huge difference, especially when you're talking about small tolerances. So because of that, I feel like if you had a normal sized door, this project would work out a lot better than it did for me. So you'll just have to, take it as it is. All right, so that's the end of the video. Sorry if it was a little bit longer. I wanted to share my thought process a little bit more and also go into kind of like the smaller details. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. If you have any comments about maybe how I could change things, I'm considering adding like a bungee cord, because also when you drag it like this, the litter box tends to lift up, so a bungee cord would help. So any comments that would make this better, and if you like the video, consider giving it a like. Thank you.